The first origins of what we knew about troll farms originated back around 2013, 2014, during the Ukrainian crisis and the events surrounding Euromaidan and the occupation of Crimea. And what emerged was on news websites in countries surrounding Russia that were covering the issue of Crimea and the East Ukraine conflict, we saw an eruption of trolls basically in the comments. And it was very clear that this was astroturfed. They were low level, amateurish. They were clearly not genuine conversation happening, sort of thing. And what started to emerge from this was a growing toolkit that was being used. We have sort of this initial vision of a bunch of people sitting in a basement and office complex in St. Petersburg who are just cut and pasting junk comments that are sort of in favor of the Russian narrative to all of these different websites in surrounding countries and around the world. What grew out of that was this growing toolkit where fake news websites were set up that looked sort of vaguely professional, like Associated Press or Reuters style websites, but hosted a whole bunch of articles that pushed this Russian narrative of events. And these articles were then used by the trolls in order to support their arguments that they were making. So they would say, aha, this is what I believe is happening, cut and paste it to 20 different websites, and then post the news link as evidence of it. This toolkit started to grow out from there in terms of edits to Wikipedia entries about the events that were in question, the setup of additional fake news websites that mimicked the local news websites of particular organizations. At one point, there was actually hacking attempts into the local emergency broadcast network text message networks of the Louisiana area during a particular attack that happened, claiming there was a chemical plant explosion. And we sort of see this proliferation of tools that emerge around a very simple concept of let's just have people cut and paste pro-government narrative into comments. And suddenly it becomes an entire ecosystem that's mimicking real behavior and real activity. And this sort of goes back to that notion of being a weapon of the weak, in that doing stuff like this is extraordinarily cheap resource-wise. The ability to set up a multitude of websites and a whole bunch of botnets in order to push out these false narratives from multiple different dimensions on multiple different social networks doesn't cost a particularly large amount of money or take a lot of expertise.